So, a couple of revenue management problems, challenges, myths, even as well, that many hoteliers still face, and they have an impact whether you're a small business or obviously a larger chain. So I have seen many of them break their heads around these 5 points that I would like to mention here, and what I call the revenue strategy pyramid in order to get it easier done and dusted, let's say. So number one is that if you lower your prices, you always get more bookings. True, discount will always fill your rooms. That's obviously easy, but you're attracting bargain hunters. That's a big problem for small hotels as well as for chains. So for the problem of branding as well, chain hotels are facing another consequence here because it reduces your brand value. So key takeaway number one, don't compete on price, compete on value. Second thing is that occupancy, the higher the better, always means more revenue. True. Does it mean more profit? No, it doesn't. Because full rooms at discount always mean less money, as I just said. At the same time, a weak ADR always hurts your RevPAR, which is the key KPI as well in many cases that you should focus on, apart from a few others. But the point is that we cannot just go after that because our profit margin would be cut short due to operational strains and, of course, increased costs. Third thing, that OTAs will always guarantee you the best revenue. No, it will guarantee you visibility, but sometimes at a reduced revenue and eventually as well profit. So we need to think about them as a reliant partner that helps us to, get the visibility out there to be seen. But we need to go then through a loyalty program in terms of chains, or even for smaller business as well, it can be possible in order to push direct business. That's the third key takeaway. Fourth one that is very important as well, that revenue management is not just about pricing. Yeah, it is a large part or a large chunk of the work that we do is based on understanding distribution and understanding the best channel mix. So how do we connect with customers? What segmentation we should go for? So we think about how certain trends, behavior shifts, and how we can obviously use that to our advantage. And that's sometimes a problem for larger chains because these systems become very complex and they lose a lot of synergy, and there's a lot of touch points where things obviously don't work out well anymore. So revenue management is price plus distribution plus forecasting and the right, let's say, gut feeling and intuition into the mix. And the number 5 here is that it is way too complex and way too difficult for small hotels, which is not true. Revenue management doesn't have a size limit whatsoever. Okay, small hotels already with small tasks, simple tracking can increase revenue 10-15%. And chains, of course, need to keep it still quite simple because it can obviously become quite an overcomplicated point of view, especially if we're looking at, in some cases, unfortunately, only from corporate side of revenue management, having many hotels under one umbrella, under one chain, under one revenue manager in this case. And this can also be a problem because that person doesn't have a very good input sometimes into the operation, into the differences between the different hotels. Some obviously do it very well, others need to work on that a little bit. So don't overcomplicate things because that will just delay you in your action plan and in your strategy, let's say. So consistency here is key as well, regular check-ins and tracking here as well. So these are things that can hotel use, let's say, to their advantage, but they can also affect them greatly at the same time. So obviously it should be based on playing to strength. That's the main strategy rather than anything else. So let me know what works best in your business.